point.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning to everyone. Welcome to today's edition of our own version of talk show. So today we are thrilled to have with us a lineup of esteemed speakers consisting of me and my friend here. So for today we want to talk about the topic of social issues among the younger generation, particularly about their mannerism and other social issues that has been prevalent in recent years. So I'll go with my own self-introduction. My name is Muhammad Luqman bin Shamsuddin, metric number J46299. I am being the host of this talk show and also one of the speakers that will be discussing on this topic. And the other speaker is my friend here, Fawzan. Please, everyone, please let him introduce himself and start the discussion.
All right, thank you, Roman, for this opportunity to give me to talk about these problems. So, hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Fawzan bin Fazil. My matrix number is J46362. So, I will start my first point about this topic, lack of manners towards adult. So, in my opinion, there is several reasons for this to happen among young people. So usually adults need to be a role model for the future, for this future generation, to avoid these things, this problem, which is lack of manners, for the future generation. So in this era, this problem has been upside down. Most people in our society, young or old, have forgotten that having manners is still a huge factor to being a decent human being. Yet every day I see more and more people who just don't care about how they portray themselves to the world. For me, manners are something that still need to be taught for school, work, and even life in general. So in this topic, I would like to touch about several social issues, which is I will happy to touch about the sexual crime. This I have taken it from this the Department of Statistics Malaysia, which is this crime, which is the sexual crime. It was involving victims age 18 and below. So it has been increased by 0.9% in 2021 compared to 2020, which is in 2021, the cases for the sexual crime is 1,481 cases. And next, in 2020, it is 1,468 cases. So in this sexual crime, the crime is rape, incest, unnatural sex, honorary obscenity, sexual harassment. So when these things happen, the young generation or the young people started to having a doubt on adult itself. So when these things happen, we start to get scared with the adult, they do not believe with the adult, even among their family itself. So this will resulting to the lack of manners, and sometimes when their own parents, such as their mom or such as their dad or their father, make the children or make the young generation hard to believe them when these things happen, such as sexual crime and all. All right. So for me, this sexual crime will affect to the lack of manners towards adult for the young generation. And sometimes the parents forgot to teach their children from the early age about these things, so they control their children they control their children to be wise, to think about these things. So when this happens, they will start to having a doubt on the adult or their parents itself. So yes, that's my first point.
Okay, thank you, Fawzan, for quite a thorough explanations on this particular issue, which is social issue. And I do agree with one of the point that is being pushed by our friend here, that actually this social issue does not necessarily come from inside the children itself. Okay? Because children are in the face, humans, uh, in the face of learnings. They are learning from their surrounding. So whatever their actions, their behavior reflects upon their who are they learning from. Okay, and we can see that for children surrounding, the majority part of their surrounding is their families, their parents, the young the older siblings or families or friends. Okay, so we can say that most of the things can be attributed to the behavior of the adults itself. So say for the example of here, um, where all these sexual issues that we have seen here, it comes, I would say, one can assume that it is a leftover from the previous generation. Okay, something that's I think there is a general consensus here that there is a loss of value as we progress towards the time, as the technology advance. Some people are losing their cultures, their value, their mannerisms. Okay, but I think while that is another problem that we can discuss in another day, one thing that one should take notice is that back in the days, people are not aware of this thing as much, the sexual parts of life. Okay, because this is like a taboo topic to be in a conversation in our culture, and because of that, we only learn it when we are able to do it. And as you know, because everyone here has gone through the teenager phase, the part where we are very curious. We want to learn a lot of things. Okay. And along with the hormonal change, so there are certain things that, you know, people around this age, the teenagers, are more inclined to do. And as a result, if they are not properly educated in this part, it is more likely that it will affect how they will behave when they become an adult. And when they have a families, and they have children, and the children will continue to learn from the behavior unless it is fixed somewhere. And this will result in what we see now, the social issue lacks from the, what we say, the awareness on this kind of topic. So some people have proposed that we should make everyone learn about this. We should make the entire population becomes more educated in this particular topic. Such as, I think this is one quite a controversial take when people suggest to include the sex education in this school syllabus. So I would say this should be a progressive stick. But some people, when they see sex education, they focus more on the sex rather than the education part. So I really disagree with this, because every education is education, okay, regardless of what it is. And on top of that, this is the part that could benefit, that can help them be molded into a better person. Because whether we want to agree or not, sex is part of their life. Okay, eventually everyone will take part in it. Okay, it's just a matter of doing it legally or illegally, whether by religion or the law of the country. So when we are talking about social issues and, or I would say, sex education awareness, I would say these two correlate so much. And yeah, I think that's my take on this. So I would say that the entire country, which I would say our country is populated by mostly Malay, Malay being one of the biggest ethnic in here, country, amassing to around 50%. Just a big majority compared to the other ethnic groups. So I would say Malay in general have a negative perceptions towards the introduction of this sex education. I would say that this is something that really should be discussed more in a more, I would say, academic light, not just because sex talk should not be perceived as dirty, okay, when it is done in an educational manner. Because some people have, they are in a tunnel vision that whenever sex is involved, it is dirty. Because they don't seem to accept that it is also a part of life, that it will have a place in some of conversation. Not all conversation, of course, because if we talk about it all day, that will be dirty. But if you want to talk it as a means to improve ourselves, I would say it belongs, it deserves a place. Okay, and that's my point here. I'll pass the discussion to my friend.
All right. Thank you, Luqman. I agree with you because this sexual about this sex life is something that we really need to talk about, or for a parents to discuss with their children, because they need to know about this sexual sex education, because for me it is very necessary for them to know, because when in the future they will go through it. All right. So my next point, I will love to touch about the COVID-19 cases. I will start with the reports from NST and by Royal Police, Malaysian Royal Police. There is 872 children, which is in age 15 to 18, committed suicide between January 2019 until May 2021. So this happens because some of the teenagers they uh that they reported, 17 years old, some of them tell they cannot get away when their parents argue, and someone is struggle to cope with the isolation from other people. So when these things happen, they will like uh make it them to feel anxiety, depression, stress, and all, because some of the uh, adult manners itself. This is so we cannot put all this fault, all this blame to the young generation only. So we need to see, or we need to look from the adult perspective also. So I would like to touch about the magic words. I believe that we all know about these magic words, which is the first one is please, and the second one is thank you. For me, we as an adult need to teach the young generation or the teenagers about these magic words, or about these manners. They need to know about this. So for me, it is not that hard to say thank you. So more as I can see, most people are failing to use the words please and thank you. These are what known as the magic words, please and thank you, and what I see as basic manners. I see this more in young people the most, from children who get whatever they want because their parents don't want to deal with them, to teens who are rebellious and think that they are just too good to be asking and thanking. So when these rebellious teenagers that just feel they are too good to ask someone for help, or when they are receiving help from others, they don't need to say thank you. But please don't get me wrong. As I said, we don't want to put all this fault, all this blame to the teenagers only. Adults, for me, adults also forget sometimes to use this magic words, which is please and thank you. For instance, even when little things, when someone just help us for little things, just hold the door for you, then you need to say thank you. Even we as an teenagers or we as an adult, when someone hold a door for you, just help you for the little things, they need to say this magic words. But in my experience, I almost when every time I hold the door for someone or just help, just simple things, sometimes they forgot to say please or to say thank you. So I think that's for my second point. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Fawzan, for quite a brilliant explanation on uh, how the mannerism has been shaped throughout the time by our current society. And talking about that, when we talk about how, you know, children learn from the parents, I think I would like to impart a bit of my own personal experience. You know, when we children look at our parents or teachers, the thing is, because I have been on both sides, I have been a child and a student, and I also have been a teacher. So one thing that I've noticed that you are more likely to remember the thing, the wrong thing, okay, rather than the right thing. For example, I'll go to the class, okay, and teach them all the right thing, every class, and then for one class, I made a mistake. I think that's easy to remember. This is the same applies to any other environment, in workplace, in other things, right? So for example, you do your work, okay? You do your work flawlessly day to day. Then one day you make a mistake and it costs a lot of other people lah. Okay. But you know, that mistake is going to be remembered more than the all the other things that you have done thing right. You know why? Because when we done thing right, everything move efficiently as it is meant to be. And we take things for granted about that. And then when things go wrong due to our own mistake or maybe someone else, okay, it creates complications. The machine no longer meshes together. Okay, everything will stop processing as they are meant to be because that is by the design. And then everyone will talk about it. Why it's not happening? Why something's wrong? Okay, so this is something that is not supposed to happen every day. As it's not supposed to happen every day, it's going to stick longer stick harder in our memory. Okay, it's easier to remember one thing, something one to remember about the day where something doesn't go right, rather than remembering all the other day that everything goes right. So the same happens to children. So I would say why I'm saying all this, because this is I'm just trying to say that education is a tough part. Okay, because you want to try your best to keep doing the right thing all the time, because the learning process they acquired every time, there is no rest. So we want to keep maintaining this image, this, so they can learn only the right things. Okay, so we want to be very careful not to teach the wrong thing. Okay, so I would say that as much as it is our responsibilities as an adults to be something of an example to the learning population, I would like to stress out that it is not an easy thing to do, and I think we all should also acknowledge that, while also acknowledging the importance of it, because we have to keep doing at it from the moment we are born until the moment we are died, until the moment we are dead. Okay, because it's a lifelong process, and it's such an important process. Basically, this is how we should live, being an example throughout all our life. And I guess that concludes my point on this topic of social issues among the younger generation. So it's not necessarily something that it's not an easy topic at all. So it is a multifaceted problems that we should try to look at every angle to find for a solution, and we should all work together so we can find a reasonable conclusion to these issues. And I guess that's all for our discussion today. Thank you for all the guest speaker, myself and my friend here, Fawzan included. And thank you everyone for listening to our morning rant here. Okay, so I think that's all for today. So thank you for listening and have a good day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you guys. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.